Don't worry about it. It's not gonna be no invoice, bitch. I'm getting ready to call the police. Hey y'all, it's your girl Jetta J, and I am back with another video for y'all this week. As you can see by the title, this is gonna be a story time. Y'all, I'm doing this in my room because I feel like it's kind of fitting, because last time I told a story about my apartment complex, I was in my room. So hey, we're bringing it back full circle. But today we're here to talk about my annoying ass neighbor. And I'm gonna try not to be loud in this video because I can get loud because he's home. But I also don't give a fuck. So yeah, y'all, this is gonna be a story time about, like I said, my next door neighbor, all the shit that's been going on with him. Y'all, he hasn't even lived here for a year yet. Like, anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, so the story first starts in, well, actually I want to say this dude probably moved in like April of last year, because he didn't move in February, because I remember they were like renovating the apartment downstairs. So I want to say like April, May-ish he moved in, right? So actually, no, I'm lying. He didn't even move in until November. Y'all, okay, so this, and this is how I know, this man moved in like a week before Thanksgiving. And as soon as I saw him, like the very first day, I knew he was gonna be annoying, because he just looked annoying. Like, I don't know, maybe I just can feel vibes from people, I don't know, but he has this look that he's like going to be annoying. And I feel like you can tell. Like, let me know down in the comments, can y'all tell like when somebody new moves into your neighborhood if they're gonna be annoying or not? Because I feel like I can. But yeah, so when he first moved in, I was already like, ugh, he's about to get on my nerve, just by like the way he looked, like his mannerisms and stuff. I remember the very first like experience I had with him was like a couple days after he moved in. I remember I came home from like, I don't know what I was doing, who knows, that doesn't matter, but I had came home and I pulled into the parking spot that I usually park in. It's like right in front of his balcony. And so he's like jumping up, looking out the window and stuff, and I'm just like, what the hell? At first I was thinking, you know, maybe he has company coming over, like he's trying to see if that's them. But he did this multiple times, like in the days leading up to this, and even after. Like, he just would, like, anytime he heard somebody outside, I don't even want to say somebody, because I don't know if he was doing it to everybody, but me for sure, and my boyfriend said he saw him doing it too. He would literally like jump up from his seat as soon as he heard us like pulling in or leaving, and like look out the window. Like, what is wrong with you? So, and this is like a, I don't know, I'd probably say this man's probably in his late 30s, early 40s. Like, he doesn't look old, but he definitely looks like older than us, and I'm pretty sure he's somebody's daddy. So yeah, he was just weird. He gave me like the ick, and he gave me like annoying vibes, right? Like from day one, day three. So I'm not really thinking anything of it. I'm thinking like, I don't really care. We have had multiple neighbors since we moved in. I've been here for like 3, almost 4 years, and there's been people in and out of this place, like in and out, because they keep raising the rent and all this other stuff, and nothing's getting renovated. Like, when I say they were doing renovations downstairs, I mean they changed the carpet and probably painted the walls. That was it. That's all. So yeah, they keep raising the prices. They're not renovating anything, changing anything. There's not any new, like, the gym is a fucking mess, the pool small. Like, yo, I can go on and on about this apartment. I like this apartment because like, it's nothing goes on over here. It's chill. Nobody really be coming in and out of this complex, and I haven't really had any problems besides, y'all know, the maintenance man. Watch that story time if you haven't. And now this, before before this neighbor moved in, there was another neighbor who was like across from us, and it was a couple, and they were crazy. Like, they would be arguing all night, like so loud. My boyfriend said he saw the girlfriend throw the dude's phone over the balcony when he was going to work. Like, it was just a lot. So I guess I can't say stuff does be going on over here, but not for real. So yeah, before this man moved in, there was like a couple downstairs, an older couple. Loved them. They were super sweet, didn't say anything to us, for real, didn't bother us, loved it. So back to the story. So this dude moves in a week before Thanksgiving, and I'm not really thinking anything of him. Like, I know he's weird. I don't want to be outside when he's outside. If I hear his door, I'm gonna wait till he leaves, till I go outside type shit. If I see him outside and I'm in my car, I'm waiting till he goes in to go in. Like, no, don't talk to me. So, like, the day of Thanksgiving, me and my boyfriend went to like multiple families' houses, like my side and his. So we were gone like all day. And me and my boyfriend always park next to each other. So like, I park right in the front, he parks right next to me, and then the rest of the neighbors fend for themselves. But them two spots, those are our spots. So the spot has nothing to do with it, but I'm just telling y'all, like, this dude's on our side of the apartment complex, so of course he's gonna park next to us versus parking on the other side, because I mean, who's doing all that walking? I'm going straight to the door. So keep that in mind, y'all. It's my car. My boyfriend parks right here. The neighbor's been parking by him. Okay. So when we come back from Thanksgiving or whatever, it's like 10, 11 o'clock. I had to come back home because I had work the next day and I had to get up at 8 in the morning. So I wasn't out too late. We pretty much got in at like a reasonable time, like I said, 10 or 11, and went to sleep. Now, before we went to sleep, y'all, we decided to stay up and watch TV because he used to work second shift, and so he would be up like all night, and so I would stay up with him too, even though I had work at 8 in the morning, because we don't really get to see each other since we work different shifts. So we would always stay up for a little bit and like watch TV until we got tired. So we stayed up until, I want to say, about probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and we heard like a crash. At this time, like, we heard like a boom, but we didn't know like anything happened because like no car alarms went off or anything like that. Like, we just heard like a boom, and then we heard somebody like backing up and pulling in. So I'm just thinking like, okay, there's wood in front of where we park, so I'm like, they probably just ran into the wood. Like, I'm not getting up and looking out the window. Now I do, but at that time, nothing happens over here. I'm not getting up and looking out the window. Like, for what? That it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you go see me looking at my window? Like, that's just too nosy for me, right? We should have been nosy. So we're just like, what was that noise? And I'm like, I don't know. It was probably, you know, they hit the wood, blah blah blah. So we turn off the lights and the TV and we go to bed. Next morning, y'all, I get up, I'm working and stuff. Y'all know I work from home. I'm not going outside because I have no reason to go outside. From 8 to 5, I have no reason to be outside. Like, I'm working. But he gets up and he goes to work at 2 o'clock. So he got up, I want to say, probably like, what time was it? I want to say like 11, 12. The time doesn't really matter, so I don't know why I'm thinking it's hard. But I want to say he got up at like 11 or 12 because he still had some time left before he went to work. So he got up, and for some reason he had to go outside. I think he had to go outside to like get his camera or something. So he went outside, y'all, and I don't know what possessed him to like look at his car, if he just noticed that like there was a scratch on it because it was so big. Me, I probably wouldn't have noticed for a while. But my boyfriend noticed immediately, which he does have a newer car, so it's like brand new, nobody's owned it, there's not no scratches or anything on it, so of course he's gonna know. That's his baby, like, before me. So he comes back inside and he's mad, y'all, and I'm just like, what's wrong? He's like, somebody hit the back of my car, like somebody wrecked into my car or whatever. And so I'm like, what? Somebody wrecked into your car? And he's like, yes, somebody wrecked into my car. So I'm like, are you sure? He's like, come outside with me. I'm finna show you right now. I'm sure somebody wrecked into my car. So I'm like, all right. So I tell like my boss, I'll be right back. I'm about to take 15 minutes so I can go outside and look at this, right? So we go outside and I'm looking at it and I'm like, it was scratched up and there was like paint on it. But I'm thinking, you know, it's just Something you can just buff out, right? Because when I got in my wreck or whatever, I didn't get no wreck. When my coworker hit my new car, it was able to just be buffed out because it was just like a little scratch. Now his was a little bit bigger and there was some paint and stuff left. So, sure, I ain't know. I thought he could just buff it out. Wasn't no big deal. Don't worry about it. So he's like, I'm getting ready to see who hit my car. Like, it has to be somebody who lives over here. So he starts looking at all the cars or whatever. They're like in that vicinity. It's nobody's car because, of course, the neighbor's not home yet. So I'm telling him like, well, it can only be the neighbor or some random person who came through here and like left, because the neighbor always parked next to my boyfriend. So I'm like, let's just check the neighbor's car when he gets home. Usually the neighbor would get home around the same time as my boyfriend or like a little bit later. So I'm like, when he gets home, like we're gonna go out and look at his car and see. So the day goes on, my boyfriend goes to work, like he's talking to me about it throughout the day. Like he's mad, he's like, I know it was him. Like when he comes home, I'm telling you it was him. I'm like, okay, babe, we'll see, but don't jump to conclusions. Like anybody could hit your car. It was Thanksgiving last night. People were drunk. Shit, we was a little tipsy. That's another reason why I didn't look out the window. I didn't know if I really heard what I heard. So yeah, he was probably tipsy driving home. I don't know. Anybody could have rode there. So the night goes on, 11 o'clock comes, y'all. My boyfriend comes home and like we're just waiting. Like we're in the living room just waiting for him to come home. So we're listening, we're looking. I got like the blinds kind of turned so we can still see out, but like everybody can't see into the apartment. So like 11:30 hits, y'all. He pulls up, he goes into his apartment. We wait for him to close that door and we run outside. So we run outside, right? We run downstairs and my boyfriend shines a light like on the front of his car because, so my boyfriend's car is like this, right? So this is the front and this is the back. The dude hit him like right here on the left rear side, right? So if this is the case that the neighbor hit the car, it's gonna be either on his right front side or it's gonna be on his back left, like if he was to back in, or right. His back right, if he were to back in. So no, it has to be back left. Y'all, I don't know, but y'all understand what I'm saying. If the cars are like this is the back, this is the front. If the dude pulls in like this with his front, it's gonna be on this side. If he pulls in with his back, it's gonna be on this side, right? Okay. So we check the back of the car first, which I don't know why we did that. I think it's just because he was like so far over and there's like a pathway. So we checked the back first. There's nothing there. I'm like, okay, maybe he didn't hit it. My boyfriend's like, no, he hit my car. And another reason that my boyfriend thought that the neighbor hit his car also was because the paint on the side of his car was like gold, and my neighbor has like this gold yellow car, like it's ugly. So we go to the front of the car and his shit scratched up. I'm like, yeah, he hit your car. And the thing is, like, you saw our lights on. I understand it's 1 o'clock in the morning, but you saw our lights on and you didn't even try to like come up and knock on the door or like leave a note or anything. You didn't leave a note on the car, like nothing. And you know that's my boyfriend's car. Like I told y'all, he be up out the window like looking like he's crazy. And I'm gonna tell y'all, like, there's more instances, right? Okay, so I gotta go back because I forgot to say another red flag. When the dude pulled up and came home, he always parks by my boyfriend, right? This time he parked on the opposite side. The side I told you, why would he park over there? Because who wants to walk around and do all that? He parked on the opposite side, like trying to not park by my boyfriend's car. So you know you hit this car. And you know we're home. And you're just gonna try to act like you didn't hit the car. Like, just stupid. I don't know if he knew he had a scratch on his shit or what. So we see a scratch on the front of his car and just a simple fact, he parked on the other side. You're guilty. So we immediately go knock on his door. We didn't care. It was like 11 o'clock at night. We just heard you come in. You just got off work. You're home. My boyfriend gets to banging on the door, right? The dude's not answering. We're sitting there waiting though, because are you going to come to the door? Like, we know you're home. We literally just heard you come to the door. He don't come to the door. My boyfriend knocks again. He does not come to the door. So I'm like, okay, we're going to try again tomorrow because this is crazy. Like, we need to get his information so that you can get your car fixed. So my boyfriend's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, I'm gonna catch him. I'm definitely gonna say something to him. So the next night comes, y'all. My boyfriend gets off work. We do the same thing. We wait up for him again. As soon as we heard him open up that door and close it, like, we ran downstairs, just like we did with the car. And my boyfriend knocks on the door. I'm waiting on the steps because I'm gonna let my boyfriend handle it. They don't got nothing to do with me, and that's man business. So I wait by the steps, and my boyfriend knocks on the door, and it takes a minute, but the neighbor does come to the door, right? So he comes to the door, and my boyfriend's like, hey, you hit my car, and I was just coming down here, like, to try to get your information or whatever. And he was like, oh, what do you mean? Like, I don't think I hit a car, blah, blah, blah. He was like, well, I may have hit your car. I'm not sure. My boyfriend was like, no, you hit my car. Your paint is on the side of my car, and the side of your car is scratched up. You hit my car. And so he's like, if you don't have insurance or whatever, like, it is what it is. I'm gonna go get an invoice today, and I'm gonna bring it back to you, and then you can pay it, or we can, like, exchange insurance information, right? So the dude's like, okay, that sounds good. Y'all, so my boyfriend leaves literally like an hour later after getting ready, and goes and gets an invoice done on his car before he goes to work. And then he goes to work, and he's like, I'm gonna give it to him like the next day or whatever, because I think it was getting ready to be the weekend. And I want to say this dude, not me knowing his whole work schedule, but I really be paying attention, especially if you're weird. Like, I need to know when you're home and not home. Like, I don't like it. So that night, my boyfriend comes home with the invoice or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna go down there before I go to work and, like, give it to him. Hopefully he's home. So the next day comes, y'all, this was over a course of days trying to get this dude's information. So the next day comes, and the dude's car wasn't outside, but like somebody's car was outside. And we also heard like movement down in the apartment below. So my boyfriend's like, I'm gonna go ahead and try to give it to them now. That way, like, he has it, and I don't have to try to catch him after work at like 11 o'clock at night. So my boyfriend goes down there and knocks on the door, and like, I kind of hear my boyfriend talking, but not really, because the walls are kind of thin here, but not for real. So I just hear them talking or whatever, and my boyfriend comes back up, and like, he's irritated. So I'm like, what happened? And he's like, oh, the dude downstairs, I guess it was his friend or something, and he told me, like, just leave it at the door where he can see it. He's not opening up the door and all this other shit. So I'm like, what? Sorry, y'all, my boyfriend came in. So basically what I was saying is, first, you try to act like you don't know if you hit his car or not, but you had enough sense to move your car and not park by him again, because you had an inkling. Even though I don't think it was an inkling. You know you did that shit. You know you did that. You know you had a scratch on the front of your car. And now we're having to deal with whoever this person is downstairs not opening the door for my boyfriend so that he can get an invoice for you because you hit somebody's vehicle. Now I'm starting to get irritated. So I'm asking my boyfriend, like, what did you do with the invoice? And he's like, I just put it like on their wreath outside, and he's just gonna have to get it when he gets it, I guess. And I'm like, no, we need to call the police. Like, at this point, we need to call the police and file a report, because this is weird. Especially like the way my boyfriend was telling me the dude was acting was like, oh, I'm not gonna open up the door to you. Like, I don't know what you're on. Like, I don't know what you're gonna try to do to me. Like, what? My boyfriend came downstairs very calm, and he's probably gonna be mad, but my boyfriend's not, yeah, like, he's not, you're just weird. So my boyfriend eventually leaves and goes to work. The dude's still not home. So I'm at home and I'm working, and I start hearing somebody talking, and like, this person is talking loud as hell. Like, he's like yelling. So of course me, I'm an ear hustler. I'm about to see what's going on. Like, what is going on? So I hear this man, and it's the dude downstairs, the friend, right? Whoever this person was. And he's like, this black dude just came over here knocking on the door talking about he's got an invoice because we hit his car and this and that. And I'm just like, okay. Now I'm really listening, because what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, he came over here and I didn't open up the door. I wouldn't open up the door for him because I don't know what he's going to be on. I don't know if he's going to try to beat me up or try to charge into the apartment or what. what? You're a grown-ass man. Me and my boyfriend are 26 years old. My boyfriend's like 5'7". If that. Like, he's gonna be mad about that, but like, for real, like, what are you talking about? Like, you're towering over my boyfriend. You're a grown-ass man. You got hella years. Like, be serious. He didn't come down there in like no type of intimidating tone or nothing. My boyfriend literally just knocked on the door and was like, hey, I have this invoice for such, we don't even know the dude's name. Like, I still don't know this dude's name. So when I hear that, I start getting like really, really, really irritated, because you're trying to portray my boyfriend in a certain light that he's not, because he's coming downstairs to give you an invoice because you hit his car or your friend or whoever. If you didn't know what was going on, you could have simply been like, let me call my friend real quick. Why didn't you answer the door, first of all? That's weird too. Like, what? It's just, they're just annoying and weird. I want to move because he still is doing weird shit to this day. So yeah, like, he's going in talking to somebody, and like, he keeps trying to like make it like my boyfriend is just this aggressive black man like trying to kill him. Like, so I go downstairs and I take the invoice off the door, because don't worry about it, it's not gonna be no invoice, bitch. I'm getting ready to call the police. So I tell my boyfriend what's going on, and I'm like, he's seeing all this stuff. Like, I probably still have the text messages. Like, this dude was like going in, like, he was just talking so crazy. And like, now you're talking crazy and talking tough and loud, but when my boyfriend's at the door, you're literally scared to even open up the door to grab a piece of paper for your friend whose apartment you're at. Okay. So after I told my boyfriend that, I'm like, yeah, we're definitely calling the police tonight, like, once he pulls in, because this is crazy. I also forgot to mention that we did take a picture of my boyfriend's damage to his car, and then also the neighbor's damage to his car and his license plate, because I didn't know he was gonna be playing like that, but I already knew we needed to get what we needed to get done, because I don't know how these people move. So the day goes on. After I got the invoice or whatever, I didn't hear him really talking anymore. He like had gotten off the phone. I had called my grandma too, just to ask her for like advice on what we should do, and she was like, yeah, definitely call the police. Like, don't even offer him no type of invoice he can just pay. Like, no, call the police and get his insurance. So 11 o'clock comes, my boyfriend comes home. We again wait for this man to come home, and when he came home, we called the police. So we called the police, and the police took like an hour to get out there. Like, that man could have came and went, and anyway, they don't care. So yeah, we called the police came, he took a report or whatever. He's like, have you talked to the guy? And my boyfriend's like, yes, like, I've talked to him, but I'm not able to like get a hold of him no more. And we also knocked on his door too when we had called the police, and my boyfriend went downstairs and he didn't answer the door again. So at this point, I'm not getting ready to play with you. You're a grown-ass man. So the police came out, and my boyfriend's like showing him the damage or whatever, and the police is like, oh yeah, he definitely hit your car. And my boyfriend's like, yeah, no shit. So he writes up a report. Because turns out this dude didn't even end up writing up a report. Like, we had to call the police again after this. I feel like this is going to be a long story. So we get the so-called police report. So the next day, y'all, after my boyfriend left and went to work, some old man like pulls in downstairs, and he comes up to my door and knocks. He's like, hey, I think my nephew hit your boyfriend's car or whatever, and so I was coming up here to like give you the insurance information. So I took everything down, and like, I got his name, his phone number, and everything. And he was just like, well, when is your boyfriend like gonna be home, or like, when does he go to work, so that I can come by and like make sure we get everything squared away, like for my nephew. So I'm like, you know, my boyfriend goes to work in the afternoon. You should probably come over here before like 1 o'clock. And yeah, so he's like, okay, well, I'll be over here tomorrow, and here's my information. Tell him to call or text me. So I text my boyfriend his information, and they exchange whatever they need to exchange. I never saw that man again. My boyfriend did file the claim or whatever. So when he called his insurance, they were saying like, do you have a police report? And so my boyfriend's like, yes, I have a police report. We filed it the other night, blah, blah, blah. We called the police station, and there was no report ever filed, y'all. So we have to wait until this man comes home again to call the police again to have someone actually come out and write a report. Like, why did you even waste your time coming out here if you weren't going to do your job? This was like so irritating to me. It was just a lot. So yeah, we called the police out again. And the police files a police report. We asked like if we need to knock on the dude's door and get him, because we literally haven't heard from him since this incident happened. And he was just like, no, we don't need to talk to him. Like, we got all the information. We have the evidence here. We're going to write up the report and, you know, you can give it to your insurance. So that part's squared away, y'all. And it took months and months and months for my boyfriend to actually get his car fixed. Thankfully, it's fixed now. He ended up having to get his whole bumper replaced because of, like, the damage the dude did to it, which I didn't think it looked that bad. I think car companies be scamming, but scam the insurance, not us. So yeah, he ended up having to get his whole bumper replaced. His car was gone for like a month. It was crazy. And now the problem I'm having with this neighbor is like, ever since this incident happened, I don't know if he's mad because his deductible went up or if his uncle beat him up. I don't know what happened, but he's just been very annoying. Like, he slams the door when he comes in, like, as hard as he can. Like, it don't matter what time he comes home. If he comes home at 1 in the morning, he's slamming the door shut. I'm talking about he's slamming it so hard, like, the TV is shaking. Like, our TV is shaking. We're all the way upstairs. Like, he's slamming the door. I can feel the floor shaking. Like, he'll slam, like, his cabinet doors. Like, he's just so loud. And I heard him talking about, oh, I'm sick of these neighbors. Because me and my boyfriend had, like, I ain't gonna lie, we got tired of him slamming the door all the time. So every time he would slam the door, we would jump, like, just jump hard as hell, just to let him know, like, we're not playing with you. Like, why are you slamming the door like that? It's just so irritating. So yeah, he be slamming the door. Like, he won't park by my boyfriend anymore. He parks on the other side. He'll wait until, like, we go in the house to come out. Like, I don't mind, because I never wanted to talk to you anyways. We never would have had to interact if you didn't hit my boyfriend shit. But yeah, he's just weird. I'm ready to go. He'll call the office over the littlest stuff. Like, he don't want me to play that game. But I'm too mature. And I also feel like this is kind of a sign for us to move anyways, because I've been saying I want to move. Been here for over 3 years. Like, it's time for some new scenery. So I'm just like, you know, maybe he's just our reason to leave. And I'm going to give it up. Do you? Because when the next neighbors come in, you gonna wish I was still living here, because I'm a good ass neighbor. But yeah, y'all, that's the end of the story time. I kind of had to rush it towards the end because I am on break. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.